numerous reports are indicating that Donald Trump may announce his 24 campaign as early as September, which is highly unusual because usually candidates wait till January, till after the new Congress is sworn in after the midterm elections. So this will be groundbreaking. So I guess my question is, do you think this is a judicious move? And what do you think the effects are going to be as far as the midterm elections go?
Well, I hope that he doesn't do it. But as we all know, Trump will be Trump. So once he has his mind made up, I just hope he won't have his mind made up on this front, because I actually think it would look weak if he were to do it. Because if you think about, okay, he wants to do it maybe in his mind, and he doesn't like what's happening with the news cycle, with the January 6th stuff, that he feels like that he's not at the top of mind in the way he wants to be. So he wants to wrest control. But I actually think if he were to do that, that would be a defensive move, and it would basically be conceding that he thinks that the Jan 6 Commission and Benny Thompson and the like are being effective. Whereas if you're in a position of strength, you wait. And that was his initial read, was that he wanted to wait till after the midterm. So he's evolving on this way. And I just don't think it would be good, because I think it would really make everything. Right now, the election should be about the failures of Joe Biden, like full stop. It's just easy for anyone to know it's about inflation. It's about the economy, stupid, as James Carville would say. And so we don't want to insert these things that would just really muddy the waters, and just let people vote with just clarity about the fact that Democrats are doing a terrible job. They can't blame anyone else because they own both houses of Congress and the White House. So yeah, I think we're probably in agreement on this. Dave, are we?
Well, I would say let's put aside whether the Democrats are doing a terrible job. I think they're doing better in some areas than they are in others, but that's not really material. I guess my question is, well, yes, I agree. He was originally going to wait. So the question is, why is he moving it up? Now, of course, those of us who might be a tad cynical will say because the January 6th hearings are really turned out to be much more damaging than many people thought. Also, he's got hundreds of millions of dollars in personally guaranteed notes that are coming due starting next year, and he's got to find a way to pay that off. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Anyone who's considering giving money to the RNC, I would ask you to consider maybe giving it somewhere else, because they're paying his legal bills, which I think is outrageous. That's not why you give money to a political committee, a national political committee. You give it to support candidates, not to pay some profligate, irresponsible guy's legal bills. So I think that's why he's doing it, and he's moving it up. And I agree. I think it is a sign of weakness, but also it muddies the waters. I think he's trying to be proactive. And he's also saying, well, it's going to be a lot harder for them. They can't charge a sitting president, so maybe it'll be a lot harder for them to charge someone who's trying to be president. What do you think?
Well, I think in his mind, maybe he thinks that he wants to take credit. Like if Republicans win the House and Senate, he would want to say that he's taking credit for it by declaring early. Maybe in his mind, that's part of the strategy, like leaving January 6th aside, because I think he, with the endorsements, he's making these endorsements and he's had a really good track record. Yes, sometimes he'll just endorse someone even though that person already has the momentum, but he also has been definitive in some very key races in getting them across the finish line, like J.D. Vance, for example, and Mastriano, your favorite, and Herschel Walker. I mean, some of these candidates, and so it'll be interesting if his endorsed candidates are not able to get over the general finish line, then he won't be able to crow as much. However, I think generally given the mood, he's doing this because he wants to be able to take credit for the midterms.
I think that's part of it. And also, by the way, let's be honest, his record of endorsing so far is very mixed. If anyone wants to go and see a state where it makes no difference, go to the center of the political universe, Georgia. All right, Jody Hice mounted what was supposed to be a very winnable campaign against Brad Raffensperger, as you remember, the Secretary of State, who stood up to Trump when he asked him to just find 11,780 votes. And granted, David Perdue is a jokester, but still, Brian Kemp just destroyed him. So Donald Trump's endorsement has been a very mixed bag, and also, as he's prone to do, he tends to weigh into people when they're already heavy favorites. So if you look at people that he's actually picked early on, he's batting under 50%. So I'm not so convinced that that's going to make a big difference. And so I think that. I think we'll have to see, but I do think we agree. I think it's a bad decision to jump early. It shows weakness, but as usual with Donald Trump, it's done entirely and only about Donald Trump. If it hurts the party, if it hurts anything else, be damned.